Ellsberg in front of Kerwin's Lane, who's looming dangerously. Kerwin's Lane moved up on the outside of Ellsberg and takes the lead now. Great back and big margin back to the rest, but Kerwin's Lane edged away from Ellsberg to win it.
Welcome to Bet Doctor, a behind the curtain look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host, Scoot. I've got DK, the punter's punter.
Yeah, no, not happy today, Scoot. This is
happened?
Victoria, the lockdown state, mate. Where politicians wet the bed when someone gets a sniffle. Anyway, play on.
Nico Noonan, how are you, buddy?
I'm a bit more positive than DK this morning, but yeah, it does look a big weekend of racing. So no matter what's happening, the racing will definitely be going. So just set yourself down on the couch on Saturday, I imagine, punters.
Yeah, where would we be without horse racing? And we're pretty much in the Little Birdie prison outfit, the punter's prison outfit. We've all got the Bookie Smash hoodies on, so we're ready to go into lockdown. But I tell you what, if you're listening at home, you would have had an absolute fill-up last week. I think we previewed 6 races, 4 winners, and I tell you what, John Walter, he's on fire.
Bit of value.
He was MVP last week.
But yeah.
You heard the intro, Kerwin's Lane, around $8-9, and Polygray, he marked favourite as well. But I think if we had the Brownlow medal of just Bet Doctor alone, I know your subs are flying and your yard stuff's going good, Nico, but I tell you what, Shane Adair, he'd be winning the Brownlow.
His strike rate's even better than mine.
Yeah, he's like the Bond. He's a bolter last week.
What else? Never took my eyes off it in the run because it got soft in betting because of the map, because it obviously was going back. Then it was back and then dead set charged.
Grew
Real
wins that last 200.
He was so confident when he just said, "There's no dangers and all this. Don't worry, this is the last. Got 15 horses in front of it, but no." And just it was great to see it get up.
And what about you? Another scratching at stall?
Another scratching, yeah, that was good. Stall. Leader's track, found the leader. My jockey rode the lead and won on the first. I said, "Oh, beautiful, this will pan out well." And next thing was washed out. But anyway, we were at
lunch.
We were at lunch on Tuesday at a long
Billionaires' long lunch.
I was just
look at it. The who's who of
the who's who.
bookmaking.
Did you see that? Frank Hudson, Brian Mann, Anthony Dowdy, Flash, one of the great men, Flash. But I was thinking afterwards, I should have said in the tweet, an unders and overs of how many billions worth of dollars in turnover from this table alone the last 30 or 40 years, because Frank Hudson was holding $1 million a Saturday when I was working at the track 10 or 15 years ago. Brian Mann was a big bookie. AD's a huge turnover bookie, let alone a couple of big punters there in Craig and Paddy. So so no, I just thought that was great.
How was the lunch?
Oh, beautiful, mate. You saw that. Put up the photo in the corner table there at the railway with the beautiful.
It's hard to beat the railway
memorabilia.
Are they charging? There's a bit of a reward at the railway. Is it $5 a sauce, or there's a bit of a surcharge in the condiment department, which is causing a bit of a scene?
They don't miss it. What I have noticed is, I reckon, have the prices gone up post-COVID at restaurants and things?
Probably.
I think prices are being jacked up.
For sure.
Yeah. So anyway, but you go there, you sort of know what
just
you're in for there.
Just another way to get beat, DK?
Just donating.
You sort of know what you're in for there. It is $50 a steak or something, but plenty of red, plenty of white, coffees, ports, cleansing beers. Anyway, it was a good lunch.
I was a guest of someone last night at the Rock Pool, and
the
Rock Pool's it's like a half face menu because of COVID. So there's only half of what you can usually order.
Did you get those things you do, the pastas or something?
Yeah,
they're all there. All the good stuff's there.
King prawn goat cheese tortellini with the raisins and pine nuts. I tell you what, that pasta is unbelievable. It's known for their steaks, Rock Pool, but that entree is unbelievable. And the spanner crab was there also, but I didn't have anyone else that loved crab as much as me, so I could only get one there. So it was a bit disappointing, but yeah, lockdown has engulfed Melbourne, so all of a sudden can't go to the footy, can't have junior footy. It's an absolute circus down here. Thank God racing has proven itself that it can go ahead, so there'll be no issues there. They'll just go into lockdown mode, I guess. And Nico, you might have to start, you'll have to keep just doing your service from home and just stand by.
Go to the couch for a bit of mounting yard access and watch.com there. But yeah, I think it'll just, if we do go into this lockdown like they're saying, I think racing will just go to no crowds like it was, and then hopefully the TV coverage is sort of really holding up there and can help the punters at home. It's been some tough going the last few weeks. We've backed a lot of seconds on the mounting yard stuff. Last Saturday we backed Deprivation at big odds in the 2-year-old race.
I was going to ask you about it, because I only saw it once when it led all the way at Donald. It led at a good speed, and I thought, he might be struggling up in distance, up in class there, and then you came through and really strong in it and ran really well, so it must be a nice type.
Real nice type, real professional. I think that's probably a key to a lot of these 2-year-olds at this time of the year. You can just kind of pick out a few that sort of really prayed like the way he did, and I thought it was a really good sort of opportunity to have a crack at one at a big price, and he nearly got there. Got a bit out of place, but gee, it would have been a fill-up if he won. And then we went to Zorro's Dream the next race at 17. So feel like we're about to turn the corner. We just got to jag one of those, and
Pepper
we're
and the
sweet.
scorers. Yeah.
In that race, one of my mates, I had a missed call, and a mate Pato was in that first winner. So I've missed the call, and I've ended up back in your thing, the second place.
No.
So one of the first.
Blushing Tycoon.
Yeah, the first light racing. So shout out to Pato. He's a big fan of the show, and he's a subscriber on a couple of the products. So yeah, he was jumping up and down with all the 50 members or whatever it was in the mounting yard. So great hoot that, having a winner in Flemington.
Sharing it with a heap of people. It's good fun.
Exactly. But on today's show, we're going to run through Caulfield, back at Caulfield after a little bit of a freshen up from there. Nico will pick out a couple of races there. There's some interesting races there. We've got Randwick. There's a bit of rain around, so it's probably going to be, heavy 10? They get a sprinkle up in Sydney, and all of a sudden the tracks go to absolute...
It was funny that rain came, how Sandown was good for yesterday, when everyone was saying how that, with that rain band coming across...
How'd it miss?
How'd it miss? But you could see it was sort of dropping down and sticking to the left-hand side of the state, like Geelong's area rather than the southeastern suburbs.
Well, I live at Chatty, which is about 5 or 7 minutes from sort of Caulfield, and it's another 10 minutes to... 15 minutes probably to Sandown, but we were absolutely hammered, and that can happen. Yeah, it was hammering down at Chatty. We're like near Chadstone, right near Chadstone, and it happens all the time. And it can be hammering at my place and then completely miss Caulfield. It's phenomenal. And I think Dad's place, he got hail one night, and there was nothing at our place. And he's in Richmond, so. Yeah. It definitely can happen, but Sydney tracks are a bit
shambles. Absolute shambles.
They need a lot of work. They need a lot of work. We've had Bagman as a late scratching, so we've got a little bit of a treat. We love getting out wide, and DK out wide as his subset. But we're going to have a look at Cranbourne.
Found a maiden.
Found a maiden down at Cranbourne tomorrow, and the market is...
straight into it?
Yeah, we'll get to we'll just get straight into it. I'm tipping people have got a lot of time on their hands all of a sudden. We've got Yana. We've got the odds up on the screen courtesy of topsport.com.au, and we've got Yana, the early easy favourite, with Fred Kersley for James Cummings, 310 out to 320. You've got Kiss Me If You Can at 440. You've got Magnetic Dash at 550. Art Major 650, and the rest of the chances are sort of what are they?
Double figures.
Yeah, double figures. The rest, and the replay you've got us to call up here, DK, is Magnetic Dash.
So Magnetic Dash out resumed.
Second last
here at the back. Drew wide, following the favourite. But the thing is, this isn't a 1,000-metre horse. Like, he's going straight to 1,400. So this is basically a barrier trial for him. And he's trying to keep up with this. It's a $1.70 chance, $1.80 chance in front of him. He hasn't got the sprint of the 1,000-metre horses, can't move his legs as quick. But I liked I like the way he worked to the line. I like Stackhouse's had a ride on him, and I liked his jump out leading up to this. So that was more of a barrier trial. They ran pretty good sectionals. I think the figures in that race were pretty good, punting form figures. Look, normally, again, off 1,000-metre races, I don't like him, but that was obviously, instead of having a barrier trial, he's gone there. So he's jumping to the 1,400, which is his distance range, second up, and the trainer's telling you he's obviously a mile or 2,000-metre horse. So he gets the run under his belt. He's got the run under his belt. He draws barrier 2 for Stackhouse. He'll map, obviously, a lot closer. I think he'll box seat. There's a bit of speed in the race. You can just park behind the speed. Funny this horse. So his first start in the race, like I did his jump outs in the first start of the race and put the pen through it, right? So, Anyway, it was $15 into 6.
Wow.
Off nothing at the jump outs. So I sort of put robot malfunction, query, or how or why, and sort of kept an eye on him during the prep. And he sort of ran some okay races, and he showed some stamina one day. But it just always stuck in my mind. Said, why was he 15 to 650 that day? Now he's jumped out, so he's someone knew something, or something's hidden away.
Yep.
So he jumped out well this prep. He said that race is a clean up. And this is a 4-year-old plus maiden. They're pretty weak maidens.
Very weak.
Jana's drawn the outside barriers first.
She's well exposed as well.
Normally she'd be out the door. They obviously want to breed from her. Get the maiden win and try and breed from her, because she's none from 11 Godolphin. She should be out the door. Kiss Me If You Can's first up for 300 days. It's an on-speed horse. Don't know if the trainer's good enough to get it to win first up off 300 days. So I like this one, Magnetic Edge. And the other one at odds there, Artisan Lass is not hopeless. She's about $13 or $14. She comes out of the deck race at Geelong, which is a much stronger race than this. And she sat wide there, and she was 50 to 1 or something. But she did a good job to stick on. She didn't drop off. This is a far more suitable race for her. Third up, draws barrier 6 as opposed to some wide gates first and second up. So I just thought, I'd be working around those two against the resuming horses.
So you can get $5.50 Magnetic Dash and about $13 Artisan Lass.
Any thoughts?
Well, the horse DK's tipping, Prince of Mercia, come out and run 4th. I think yesterday at Sandown was sort of not unlucky, but he was definitely hitting the line strong. And I think if J. Carl maybe had got moving a bit early on him, he would have been right in the finish. And then you sort of look through his SP. He's got a 550 SP against Arabian Hussy, who's since come out and been a Metro winner. And they got a big opinion of her.
That's one reason I marked on that race. It was $5, $5.50, clear third pick. There was Arabian Hussy, not visual. What's the thing in tomorrow? I think it might be Visualising. He's a good horse at Gregory Rells, $1.70 favourite tomorrow night.
Yep.
It's in race 2 tomorrow night, the 3-year-old. And this horse, it was $5.50, and then it was kiss your ass the rest. They're all $13, $18, $21. I thought that's a strong SP. So it has got something in this horse, and I reckon this prep's going to show it.
This is the one.
So, here we go.
Outstanding stuff. And before we'll just we'll talk about punting form. They've dropped some new barrier and lane and jockey and trainer combos with their sectional pro form.
DK's man here, Michael Megan. You can get the sort of trainer stats on him. So all of his runners since 2014, he's only had 154.
That's right. Hasn't got many horses,
but he's in the positive. Profit on turnover 15% and goes at around 10%. So he's definitely a trainer that doesn't have a lot of horses, but he's obviously profitable.
And and wouldn't have many. It'll be cheap horses. Now he's got one nice horse that just miss in between. I think that's her name, is it?
Yep.
And he does a pretty good job with her. So you see, they get limited opportunities with good horses, these little trainers. But when they do one, he's got her to win in town and things like that. So
pretty sure he had a pretty smart mare a few years ago that might have won a few Group 3, sort of Group 2 races at Caulfield.
So when they get the opportunity, they can do the job. And I just think this is a set play. And so we'll give it a run first up over Unsuitable Trip. And I think it'll handle the ground. He's also nominated it for Ballarat on Sunday at 1400, it's going to be a heavy 9 or something, So I think he's got no doubts about it.
How's this, Pearl? Mornington trained horse at Mornington. That is a huge tick for that track as well. So,
but this is Cranbourne.
Cranbourne.
Sorry,
that was barrier trial.
Barrier trial at Mornington. So
yeah. But I was digging into the punting form stats, and I see Olly's got not a bad card of rides this Saturday at Caulfield, but I'll tell you what, I think he's been riding awfully. And talking through my kick, there's been a couple of horses, and I've just noticed every horse of Olly's that I've been on recently, he's ended up just in the coffin, absolutely in the coffin.
Sacred Palace, whatever.
So I thought, all right, well, since Warrnambool, when I think he rode a couple of winners for Lindsay, how's Olly been going? He's had about 29, 30 rides, 3 winners, all in Adelaide. In Good Health was one of them. Here's the Godolphin horse, and there was one other that escapes my mind. But he's going at about 10% strike rate, which is probably 5.5 down from what he usually hits at. But he's not profitable at all. He's so overbet. And I tell you what, I don't know. Like you say it all the time, bag a bloke and watch him come out and win. But all right, well, I'm saying it's D-Day for Olly on Saturday. If he flops on Saturday, he might be gone. Yeah,
it's only him and D Lane, isn't it? And the rest are all provincial riders, really, aren't they?
3 or 4 favourites. He's on the first favourite to start the day, set the sails. So maybe that horse is a little gimme for him just to get the confidence back.
It's only him and Frosty, I think, that have basically stayed down here that could have gone into state, the top of the top riders. But, but maybe that's the reason why he's down here. No one's taken him up because, they've got more informed options. But I'm not. You won't find me bagging. Didn't someone bag someone the other day? And didn't they?
Oh yeah, I think we bagged Carly and Heffel.
Did you write
a
double?
Metro double.
So you're not alone.
We got her into form as well. Maybe Olly can ride a treble this Saturday, and we'll just back him.
Juppy was very happy to remind us.
If you want to
play someone into form, so if you need me to play someone into form, just.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to urge Olly.
Oh, yeah, all right.
So race 1, so we can just load up on Saturday. Now or
Olly's
never.
cast.
If you want to dig deeper into the jockey and trainer stats and then look at this new bias, this lane and barrier data from punting form, it's $2.97 a month for sectional pro form, and that puts you on par with all the pro punters, all the best pro punters, and the syndicates who get the raw data and feed into their models. It is absolutely bomb-proof, foolproof. I can use it, and DK can, and I can barely turn on a computer, but it does the trick for me. We're going to take a little bit of a break, and we're going to talk Caulfield with Nico Noonan. Welcome back to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host, Scone. I've got DK and Nico Noonan, and it's time to talk Caulfield. I doubt there'll be crowds, but that won't stop our punters who are just fueling the game so they can increase the prize money. And there's just no stopping in that department. Gee, we lost a soldier last week, BZ. he was cheering more prize money down at Warrnambool, and I gave him a little bit of an uppercut on Twitter, and then he fired back in one of my chat groups. But lo and behold, here they go. They're going to start wheeling out more prize money. Makes me absolutely sick. It's absolutely bulging at the moment, prize money. It's totally unnecessary.
Yeah.
I own a horse, but
you only have to look at the mare's sale going on at the moment.
Ridiculous.
So how ridiculous that end of the market is, and they're not contributing it one dinar.
I tell you what,
the running of the sport.
Good story though. Amongst all that, I loved Johnny Kelton. They've got a result with Bella Vella.
Yeah.
So I think it sold for 100k as a yearling.
22.5.
They bought it for 22 and a half.
Bought it, sorry, right,
and now
gotcha.
it's popped to 1.9 million. So the Clarkin, the Kelton, that sort of syndicate of punters, they've taken the chance on this tried horse and they've beaten the breeders at their own game and absolutely filled up on it. So hat tip to our man Eagle. Yep. I've put the call out to Eagle, Johnny Walter. We're going to try and find a tried horse. I bumped into Simon on Sunday and we spoke about Britannicus, who flopped. He's bound for the paddock, I think, or we might get him over the steeples, Britannicus, or get his ticket anyway. But we might try and find a jumper, find a couple of tried horses, and maybe even the Roll the Dice boys will find us the next Ayrton or the next Profiteer. So we are starting to circle. We want to own a couple of horses and get some of this prize money back that we're all stumping up because there's all this punting that we're doing. But let's talk about Caulfield race. We can't beat them, join them, I suppose. Caulfield this Saturday, race 4. We're going to have a look at here. The Michael Andrew AO, 1,200 metres, benchmark 84 handicap. We've got the market on the screen thanks to topsport.com.au now. Sorry, guys, I'm a bit behind the 8 ball here. The favourite here is Plaquette, I think, at $5.50. We've got Kalani Royale, $7. Bonds aboard, $6.50. Why Choose Her, about $8.50 there. And double digits the rest. The first one we're going to have a look at is Plaquette, the last start in the Godolphin blue colours, the last 400 here. Nico, tell us why you like this.
Scooty's man aboard here, Olly, and he sticks on Saturday. She's in the Godolphin B set with the white cap. Look, I was on her this day from a mounting yard point of view. I think I had her on top from the yard and thought it was probably the best I'd seen her parade. And this was a pretty big run here. Looked like that last 200 metres, you can see Olly just produced her there. He gets the whip out, and her last 200 metres on the punting form data was very good. She nearly ran at 6 lengths above the all benchmark, which is pretty good going. She just doesn't get there. I was surprised she didn't win watching that replay again. Stays at that sort of distance range here at Caulfield over she comes up to 1,200 metres, which I think is a positive. She'll be back from barrier number 14, but as you saw there, she's got a really big sort of last 200 metre dash in her, which is what you need with a back marker at those sort of trips. And if we can bring out the recent jump out, that race was sort of going to be 35 days between runs. She's had a jump out since this at Flemington. Here she is in the Godolphin blue, just back on the inside against some high-class horse. I might get up who was actually against her in this jump out. But this was a pretty sharp piece of work. You're looking at her back towards the fence there. And, gee, Olly, if you...
Got a stranglehold.
Just under an absolute stranglehold, isn't she, DK, there? So that's probably what you're going to see in these jump outs with the tick over, isn't it? Just a horse who really going well. Yeah,
that's exactly right. They're not there they're just there for a tick over. But you like the fact they give them to them. I love the jump out in between runs.
Especially with Godolphin. I reckon it's a big tick with them.
Yeah. Well, Ollie's obviously signed a contract or something there to be their Victorian rider, because he's riding some 20-1 chances in the bush. So just dead set got 0 and running horribly. I've noticed in the maidens, but so he wants to make these sort of rides count. Getting chances on this at the moment. So look, it's just tugged him along there, hasn't it?
Yeah, he hasn't let her go at all. And you look at the horses around her. Jumbo Osaki won the heat. Propel is a really sort of
Jumbo Osaki.
Yeah, exactly.
There's some good horses there.
He's back at the track.
Is he?
Danny O'Brien.
Danny O'Brien.
So there was some smart horses around her, and she's doing it in second gear. So look, I think that was as good a tick over jump out we're going to see from her. And I think just with the way this race sort of sets up, down in the weights for 55.5 kilos, I think she's a good bet here at sort of $5.50 TopSport. I think she should be much shorter. I think she'll start a bit shorter, to be honest. So I was happy playing there and hoping Olly can bounce back and hit a bit of form.
God, it's going to be a big Olly day. It'll be could be a cupboard job or it could be cash. We'll see what happens there. The next race we're going to have a look at is race 8 here. We've got odds courtesy of TopSport. This is 1,600 metre handicap. And we've got Wright and Rose favourite off a wide draw here, $3.80. Oh, guess who? Damien Oliver, P.G. Moody. There's a theme coming along. Seb's Song is the next in the market, $4.20 into $4 with Benny Mellum on board.
First ride back today, B. Mellum.
Yes. First accused has been 7 into $6.50. Your man, Scotty Brunton. Hopefully the horse is already in town, or we'll see a scratching there perhaps. And all other runners are around the $11, $13 or better mark. And the horse we are going to have a look at is First Accused from the 600 here. Tell us why you like this one, Nico.
Yeah, he's up from Tasmania, this horse, punters.
Which colours?
He's in front in the red and white. So, look, I thought this replay was sort of key just to sort of take it back from a bit further, because you look how well he's sort of travelling coming into this race, coming into the straight. And although it was a 5-horse field, like he went around at sort of an even tempo to the 600-metre mark. This is the key to his race. His ability to sprint from that 4 to the 200-metre mark, his sort of figures on the punting form data where he's done that, nearly 5 lengths above. That's horses that can do that tend to really go on with it. It's something I kind of always look for, what they can do sort of in between those splits. And I think the horses that have sort of replicated that to my eye really go on with it. And I've sort of had a good handle on this horse. I went back and watched all his replays, and it really looks like this prep he's just come into his own from a physical point of view. A lot of these sort of earlier runs, last preparation, he looked sort of a bit backward, a bit green. Now he's really strengthened up. He's got a bit more of a shoulder on him these days. You look back through his form last preparation, he bumped into a horse called Swoop Dog in the Launceston Guineas and I think the Launceston Derby. Now, Swoop Dog went on to SP favourite in the Tasmanian Derby against Explosive Jack.
Yeah, wow.
Started $1.90. So, and then since gone on around third to Newhart and Mandela Effect. Mandela Effect was a huge run in the Rupert Clark and the Toorak here. So he's got this pretty good Tasmanian form. He's coming over here.
Scotty knows when to bring him over.
Scotty 100% knows when to bring him over. He's a profitable trainer for his whole sort of career. So he's obviously a trainer that you want to be finding. So when he comes over, his trainer-jockey combination, when he finds Al King, their stats are through the roof, 71%. Profit and turnover. No, that's probably off a small sample size, but seems like he's the go-to man. I think if this horse can find the front and run along at a tempo, I reckon they'll find him hard to catch out in front.
Caulfield's perfect for him.
He just looks like a horse who's really sort of building into his own and finding his way, and I think leading last start and just absolutely owning that field will give him a lot of confidence coming into this. So I was pretty happy to sort of have a bet there at $6. Like, there is a few sort of other chances in the race. DK probably know a few of these horses like Ride and Rose.
I'm going to ask about Ride and Rose, because it talking about sprinting home hard, and like I thought it went all right at Maui. You know, I thought I'd like to see it again. And I know it was on the poly, but it let rip, like sprinting home on the poly the other day.
It had some big sort of closing splits there on the punting form data. My question mark with it was just sort of where it gets to from a map point of view.
He's going to be giving it a start.
Barrier number 12, and just that it's hard to take synthetic form into metro grade, I find. So look, it's obviously got ability. It's got Olly on. I thought it was well enough found at the prices. It can still win. Seb Song's a horse who's got good talent, coming off the Cranbourne win last start. I think he might be looking for a bit sort of further than 1,600 metres this preparation, and maybe sort of look to back him sort of third or fourth up. This is a sort of heat of a series. Interestingly, Ben Mellum goes back aboard him. You will see him on some rides today at Sale, so I imagine he'll be pretty hungry.
He's pretty hungry. He's riding Cranbourne tomorrow night. And then he's getting straight, which is a good time for him to get back into it with a lot of the other riders away.
Super talented jockey, so I imagine it won't take him too long to find a bit of form. But yeah, I thought this Tassie Raider, First Accused, he just looks like he's starting to really build into his own. I think if he can lead this race, he's going to have to do a bit of work to find the front, but I think they'll hold the fence from barrier number 2, and I think it'll suit him the faster they go. So I think he's going to give us a big side at sort of $6, $7 around that mark.
$6.50 at TopSport.
Of those maiden sort of winners coming through, Agnelli, Inca Dinka, Burley Boy would be the one I know Jay Allen rode him to. He just rode him the other day. There was no loafing. No. They were sort of teaching him to sort of just roll and roll and roll. So he'll be on speed with your horse.
Yeah.
They might be able to control it up there though, and he should give a sight.
They bet your horse.
That's right.
Stats.
That's right.
Come out and bolted in for us at Cranbourne.
God bless it. Stats. God bless it. That was last Friday night, wasn't it?
Yep.
DK.
And the opener there at Caulfield, we were talking about it before, D. Oliver's on Set the Sails, something beaten at Geelong that day. J Car off, Olly on. Don't know if I love that switch, but Sudoku's in that race also. All About Eve, last start winner, and then Magic Max sort of rounds out the horses in the market.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this one? DK,
well, you
half-horned.
Well, I don't try not to back first starters, especially when they're 250. But all the jump out groupies, everyone was on it. J-Car just sort of got held up otherwise. But it let rip with the last 200. You don't you see it a couple of times a year if you're lucky. As far as whatever split, I think it ran 11-2 or something, whatever it was, off getting held up. Sudoku ran the raw figure because it rolled the whole race. All About Eve was a pretty good win at Ballarat Bendigo, but I tell you, I mean this horse looks proper.
Yeah, Set the Sails. He's nearly run the fastest closing splits of every split for the entire meeting. Like fastest last 1,000, last 800's 11 fastest, but I think that was because he was held up for a lot of it. Last 6, the fastest. Last 4, the fastest. Last 2,
well, it was
the
held
fastest.
Up. It was held up
for most of it. So when he got out and savaged the line there, he's closing stuff, especially that last 200 metres. DK was sort of alluding to it before. It does scream like he's got a lot of talent. He's got a little bit of luck here, though, from barrier number 4, and he is back a little bit in trip.
And as Olly on.
So, look, it could be a sit and steer job like this horse. He could really be something, but $2.30 currently. I wouldn't be surprised if he got a bit longer on the day, just with the sort of depth in the race. Like DK said, Sudoku's got a good sort of raw overall time, and this horse is a lot of back-end sort of stuff. He's out of a slow race early, so... look, great race to start the day. Really keen if we're there, to see him in the yard. But be a good race to sort of follow the form out of and see where these horses end up from a spring point of view. Because that's probably what we're starting to do with a lot of these 2-year-olds.
Pretty hot race for me, isn't it?
Look forward to sort of see what they can do as a 3-year-old, especially a horse like Set the Sails.
Pretty good card. Race 3 is not a bad one there at Caulfield. Also, if you want Nico's insights, lockdown or not, he'll be providing his 3 to 5 minute updates with how he's betting. He'll be forced to do the yard off the telly if the government has their way. But Nico has been just reeling off puntingform.com.au data. So if you want to try and find these horses and improve your punting and do it all yourself, 7 days a week, punting form's there. It's also got Hong Kong as well and Singapore, so you can specialise wherever you like. It is an absolute breeze.
And the post-race, mate. The post-race,
DK.
Which is me. It's my main thing in punting form. I couldn't do it without what punting form gives me in the post-race. The breakups of... what they did and when they did it, and it gives you early.
Well, I think a horse like Set the Sails is a great example. Like, obviously, to the eye, he's run a huge sort of last 200 metre split there, and you can tell like he probably should have won that race. And then you go back and sort of
for the day.
You look at the data and you look at all what he's done for the day. Well, you go, well, this is a serious horse, isn't it?
So I try and do my video comments the day after, so everything's fresh in my mind about the race. I did the form on the betting and everything, and I might say something looks like I'll say I joined the lead. Or I'd say, produced at the 400, accelerated to hit the front at the 200, kept going too well. And then whenever the punting form comes a day or two later, I'll find the thing only did around the 22nd.
You can adjust it,
best
edit
last
it.
400, and I have to take that accelerator out because they were stopping. So just sometimes your eye can be deceiving. It doesn't happen all the time, but it's just good to have that. You put that, mash that all together, and that's what I come up with your answers.
It's unreal, and even it just stores it forever until you don't need it. You got comments on horses 3 years ago. It's fantastic stuff. If you're betting this weekend, make sure you check out TopSport. They're family owned and operated. They've been in the game for 35 years. Bet with a bookmaker you can trust. These guys bet up, so make sure you tackle TopSport this weekend and support our podcast by doing so. Up next, we've got Randwick with Johnny Walter from Racing Watch, and we might get DK just to fizz him up a bit. It's best when Walt and DK are going head to head. Welcome back to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host, Scoot. I've got Angry DK here, Nico Noonan, and Johnny Walter joins us from Racing Watch. Everyone knows Johnny, and you would have an absolute bag full of cash if you back Kerwin's Lane and Polly Gray off last week's show. How are you, Johnny?
Sweating up a bit, mate. I'm sweating up like DK when one of his horses actually runs.
Can find a scratching, our man.
Scratching.
Track, swollen face.
Got any spare bedrooms up there, mate? I'm looking to get out of this godforsaken joint.
Mate, they tell me you do the form on the RaceNet dual acceptor page. You make sure that they ran the day before just so you don't have to put them on the line.
You're up at the Gold Coast. I wish I was there. It'll be a matter of time before Little Birdie gets a second office up at the Gold Coast and I can leave this hellhole myself. But what about Randwick and their tracks, Walt? They've had, 2 to 5 mil forecast for Saturday. That'll turn it into a heavy 10, won't it?
Bottomless.
Pit.
They won't have any masks on. They won't have any masks. I think it'll be slowish range. I think it'll be sort of 6 to 7. It can't be heavy. Can't be. True rail though. Should be a good track.
Okay, let's have a look at race 4 at Randwick. Market and odds courtesy of topsport.com.au. Grand Remore, I'll call it, $5 into $4.20. Frachinel's been scratched there. More profits, $4.80. Nicky's Fling, $6.50. Vitesse, $8.50. Snippy Fox, $9. St. Covert Spirit, $9. And Bright Rubik is $11. That makes up the chances in the market. Well, do your best, Walt. Just tell us who's going to win this one.
I was a bit sick that the old Fashionel's come out because Gate 1 Rachel King normally means she doesn't like giving up the lead, Rachel, and I thought she'd hunt up and put it on for the horse I like, but there still should be a reasonable tempo from horses drawn wide, couple drawn inside that should kick up too, and I'm hoping that even if it's they don't go too quick, More Profits Only has to track up, and it's the horse I like. Came out of that Scone race, was really poorly weighted last start. Started $5. It was a listed race. Stables Airborne, I think it was 8 from 31 their last 30 days. And this horse just hasn't seen the right race yet. 1,200, 1,400, 2 runs back, stays at 1,400, gets a Randwick softish track now, which should be down the middle. And I think it'll be letting rip. The other horses in the race, Nicky Fling comes out of a similar solid form, but it's sort of a horse that doesn't have a killer blow. Grand Remore is coming out of a lot weaker racing for mine, and I just think it probably wants a mile or further, and I think this horse will out-sprint him at the end of it. More profits.
No, you're a lot happier this week. I've let you choose the races.
Mate, there's not much less in difficulty. The next race, you wait for the next race, how I found it. This is nearly a DK selection.
Race 8 is the Precise Air 1,400 metre handicap, and there'll be a fair few horses that you guys know. Brutality 5 into $4, 11, $6.50. Band a Snitch $7. Lena's Hero.
Lena's Hero.
Yeah, it's now with Waller. And Royal Celebration $8.50 and Military Zone $9. Better the rest. It's a bit of a raffle this one, or if Walt's picked it, it's probably a race in 2.
I think it is a race in 2. Well, I'll tell you why. You've got to go deep here. We're betting off omens now.
We'll take anything down here.
Talking about that Green Light Matthew McConaughey book. I'm listening to it the other day. He's the golf ball, blah, blah, blah. He goes on, he carries on about how the greatest show that he's ever done is True Detective. And my 2 favourite actors, McConaughey and Woody Harrelson, I've never heard of True Detective, so I watched it all yesterday in about 8 hours. And then you stumble into this race and here's True Detective. So how can you get
Louise Day?
Moral. I'm hoping it goes forward. I think there's 2 chances. Brutality is just the best set-up horse you've ever seen. It's had that jump to a mile last start, back to 1,400 here, perfect draw. Soft tracks are positive. That coast race, they went 1,000,000 miles an hour. And it did look a little bit flattered because they went quick, but they still come home quick and ran really fast time. This all she got a bit lost on it. I think it should be more positive, but anyone who can declare a horse with Jimmy on it, that's beyond balls of steel. But it looks the winner, really. If nothing goes wrong, it looks the winner. But I think True Detective ridden more positively it beat the rest of them comfortably last start, really well set up. I just think it just needs to roll forward. And soft track is a positive as well. Just make sure I check that because I got plus. Yeah, so it's twice a winner on heavy. And it should just get up on speed and keep rolling, hopefully, with Louise Day. This stable, holy heck, like you just saw what they can do yesterday. They got a lot of tricks, the Waller stable, and I'm just hoping one of their tricks is sending True Detective forward, and Brutality is the one chasing it.
Davina for the Fletcher Files early, and then J-Mac goes and rides 4 out of 7 winners.
What was he doing there? And I love after the race, they come and say, oh, what a great ride from J-Mac. He absolutely destroyed it. Like a horse first up, you gifted the lead on the rails and he decided to restrain to sit outside leader. puts them away, and then nearly runs out of gas like it should first up, and nearly bloody fell in a hole. But anyway, very strange. No one likes to lead in Sydney.
Speaking of balls of steel, we've let one slide there too.
What's happened?
Didn't he pot Zaki? Didn't you pot Zaki on the weekend? How far did it win by? Balls of steel.
I left my computer unattended, and I think someone got to it.
Usually when Walt tweets balls of steel, it means they're a complete moral. I'll tell you what, it's just gone like a Learjet. I don't know how or what is happening, but Gold Coast ran through a brick wall, and on the punting form data, they were going out lickety-split, and I think, here, watch these all collapse.
Sustained.
And this thing's just gone through the sound barrier.
He's run one of the better times, recently on the Dan O'Sullivan sort of ratings and all those sort of big ratings mobs that do it for the Group 1 races and all that.
They love a rating.
He's just run one of the, I think one of the top 5 in the last 5 or 10 years or something behind Wicks. So I ended up laying him on Saturday.
Ratings and vomit should be in the same bloody thing, but I love that they come outside and had a perfect run. Far out. Just absolutely. And you see that, what was the Cox, the old mate Possie's horse was about 6 off him. He was gone at the 800 trying to chase him. Old mate's still bloody steaming up, puts 10 on him, runs off the track. He's got that fresh of legs. He's running around like a school kid, and he still put 10 on him.
Phenomenal, isn't it?
Amazing. Animals, huh?
All the steel.
Who knows? They're saying he was he was well exposed in Europe or something like that, and he's what he is.
He'd never won on a good track. I think he'd had 10 starts or something. He never won on a good track. That was sort of my pot and wait for age and all that. And Jesus Christ.
Now he's $4 favourite for the Cox Plate.
It means once
Diving in.
Launching.
He's hard to back from here on in, though, isn't he?
I got no idea what to do with the horse.
They're non-event
Stable
now.
does me too, that stable. They seem to be all extremely well found. Anyway.
I've just got the balls of steel notifications that go ding whenever he says it, and then I just bet. So keep going, Johnny.
Have you got the pictures of Ty? I see he's doing some weightlifting there. You got those up on the wall? Inspiration for you as well?
Let's have a look at TopSport big bets. Funny, there's a couple of random ones early, so we may as well get Walt's opinion. Walt's opinion on these ones. Race 4, number 3, Grand at Ramore, 1,500 at $5.
Potting.
Well, we know.
Potting.
Yes. And then race 2, Manzanetta, 1,000 at $6 in race 2 there. You had a look at that one. Your horse, Golden Gorge, is in that one.
Yeah, well, my actual horse is in there, but he's coming out. But I was told that Manzanetta wasn't running yesterday, but maybe with mine coming out, it will run. But there's probably 3 or 4 solid chances in the highway, and Manzanetta's one of them, probably about its right price.
Which is yours coming out? Jabbar.
He's coming out. He's waiting. His bloods are no good or something, whatever that means.
So they're the 2 early bets. Last week they had a big winner, the TopSport big bets. There was Murray Bridge, Too Good Too Hard. I think it was 500 at $9. A few scratchings, and I think it
and hammered.
Yeah, hammered
in the betting.
420, I think.
Savage line too.
Yeah.
Like he's a bolter, similar, come from the back.
Good swoopers track, Murray Bridge.
I think, well, that's all. When Shane was doing the form, he was tipping 2 swoopers, so that's. Yeah, I'm hoping for that.
Yeah, the other joints lead a fence. Every leader I see wins there.
And the other big bet is back to Caulfield. Oh, there's 2 more actually. Race 9, number 9, Muntasira, 1,000 at $550.
They seem to lay that every time it goes around TopSport.
Exactly. They must have the owner.
Noonan got it.
Hey?
Ma.
Who's got it?
Nah, Kieran Ma.
Ma Eustace.
Yeah, bobbed up 2 starts ago and put egg all over our faces. I think Instant Celebrity knocked it off a couple of starts ago. And the other one there is Morpheville, race 8, number 2, Alvazor.
Oh, that's the Sue Yench horse.
Yeah. Yep. 400 at 14.
14, yeah.
No omens there, no omens.
The only omens down here is we're in lockdown, fresh hell here.
Fresh hell, homeschooling.
There is talk of another live stream, but that's also hanging the balance. I really pray for the guys up at Swan Hill, the carnival. It's only about a fortnight away after this weekend, I think. Swan Hill Carnival, and now we're into a 7 or 10 day lockdown. News is breaking as we're recording.
It's got loose up there because Kahuna and all those sort of from Bendigo. Someone from Bendigo went to Kahuna and all this up there, so they're all getting so it's up there.
So yeah,
I've got a 10:30 tea time there at Rabina. Is that all right? My 10:30 tea time's all right.
He's typical Queenslander. Even John McLeod, they go for lunch, they play golf, they go fishing. When do they ever do the form?
Oh, I'm sweet. That's all. Okay, cool.
No, you're absolutely jogging. So, yeah, we can't really announce anything, or we've got a couple of interstate guests that we're going to fly in for the next stream. So we're on hold. We're on COVID hold until we get that Swan Hill Cup / Stradbroke weekend stream going. But stay tuned for that. We're licking our wounds after the Lone Wolves Dog Night. Not a bad production, but just couldn't find it. What are you shaking your head at, Walt?
Oh, just thinking about the Twitter and all the wombats on there and carrying on. And, yeah, just get bored of it. So it's all right. We battle on.
I had to pull the pin. 11 o'clock, I had to say no because I was getting.
No more.
I had a few reds in me,
Oh,
and then I started coming back at them, and then I'm just.
They're all bullshit. They're all reading the plot like they're all weird. There's no names attached. They're all anonymous accounts.
Mystery accounts. Anyway, we'll be back. The overwhelming majority of their feedback was strong on Troy. Yeah, no doubt. Troy has gone out and killed them on the Saturday night. Just tip winner after winner for his inside track club.
And that's what he said. Yeah.
It's on again tonight too. Sandown Cup, so it's gonna the real big nights on.
We
tonight,
only have one
so
crack at the things we do. That's what they said. You know.
Anyway. Shit happens, as they say in the classics. But thanks, Walt. We'll let you get to your 10:30 tea time, and hopefully more winners stem from your little segment. But racingwatch.com.au for the big angry red man. I think he'd be second in the Brownlow votes on the Bet Doctor show. I think Shane Adair's just pipped him, but Walt's coming home.
I'm 12 from 14 or something, and I can't get in the Brownlow votes.
Well, you're our Clayton Oliver. You're like Clayton Oliver.
What a half a footy he played last week.
Yeah, chipping away. Absolutely travelling. See you, Walt. All right, that's enough for us. If you want to look at our Queensland Winter Carnival show, it's Bris Vegas. It's available on Little Birdie TV channel on YouTube, or just head to Little Birdie Podcasts and find the Bris Vegas episodes there.
Huge day of racing.
Yeah, Johnny McLeod and Turbo Tommy Henjack, the Windsor Weasel, who's been sliding into Walt's sister-in-law's DMs or something like that. So Tommy's doing his best work there. It's exposed. It's all over Twitter. Walt's revving him up. Don't think he's got any chance, but he's thereabouts.
What's the space of Jack going for? Fourth derby? Fourth derby?
Fourth derby.
Fourth derby.
And
Senor Toba's a big chance to knock him off. I was just thinking, it's amazing training performance if you can peak him again for this.
Yeah,
He might be the best horse, but to still get him to peak is very tricky, isn't it?
Yeah. Freak trainer status.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolute freak.
And the horse must be just so resilient. Hey?
Yeah, I haven't seen horse do what he's doing, go round and winning all the derbies. So, yeah, and not falling in either. One's Sydney, but the other one's it's all pissed in.
Yeah, well, bolted in out of an Adelaide. So he's drawn well again there on Saturday. Look, the early markets with him, and he does look the horse to beat. Your horse, Scoot, the big race. Senior Toba. That's probably cast for him, the wide draw there.
I'm not so sure.
He's going to have to go right back.
It was a complete barrier trial last start. It was a rough habit plate.
So he's the one peaking for this race where the Explosive Jack's staying up for it. But
they're the two obvious ones. But anyway, we'll talk more about that on Bris Vegas, so make sure you check out that. Follow Bet Doctor TV on Twitter. We're on SoundCloud, Apple, Spotify, absolutely everywhere. Stay tuned for our next stream. Hopefully COVID can just get the F out of here, and hopefully the races just keep on churning.
Keeping on.
Keeping on. All right, thanks for coming in, guys.
No, good as gold. All right.
You can hide in here anytime in the next 7 days.
Might have to.
That's us. That's it for us. See you next week.